Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today is Wednesday, which means it is another edition of Top 5 Wednesday. As always, Top 5 Wednesday was created by Lainey at Ginger Reads Lainey. I will link her channel as well as the Goodreads group in the description box down below in case you want to check it out or join on in the fun. This week we are discussing our top 5 side characters that we think should have their own series. A lot of people seemed to have a lot of answers for this, and it seemed like everyone started their videos by saying I had more than 5 that I wanted to name. I actually had a really hard time picking 5. Like, I had 3. So some of these aren't necessarily characters, but perhaps maybe like the world in general. I'm tweaking it. Basically what I'm saying is I'm tweaking this topic. So instead of just side characters, I've picked 5 series that I think should have a spin-off series of some kind. Hold on, there's a cat that wants in. Odie, do you want to come in? Yeah? The first one I want to talk about is the Shadowhunter Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. I know that Cassandra Clare has several series set in this world that she has either done or she is planning to do, so I might eventually get this spin-off series that I'm about to talk about. I think it would be incredibly interesting to read about the Circle. Read about how Jocelyn and Valentine fell in love, how they started the Circle, how they recruited people, maybe even from Jocelyn's perspective to see exactly what happened with Valentine. How Valentine went from being a revolutionary thinker to being villain. Because that is what lays the groundwork for this series and then for the Dark Artifices. So I'm sure that Cassandra Clare has that in the works. Something will come out regarding the Circle. If she isn't already planning to write that, this is the message. She should write something about the Circle and Jocelyn and Valentine and Luke and all those other people who were part of that revolutionary group and how it went so very wrong so very quickly. The next one I'd like to talk about is Legend by Marie Lu. Now this one isn't a particular character that I would like a spin-off series of, but just the world. In this world, this dystopian universe that Legend takes place in, the United States has split off into 2 different countries and there's been a lot of flooding. So a lot of our current landmass is underwater and Antarctica becomes a superpower. It would be super interesting to read about that initially happening. Initially how the United States breaks apart. I don't remember ever reading about that. She might have discussed it in the series. I don't remember a particular instance where she did. So this isn't necessarily a particular character, just a prequel to this world. I would love. I think that would be so interesting. This is one of my favorite series. Now I'm going to talk about the 3 that I would love so very, very much to have spin-off series for these particular characters. And if these authors could get on that, that would be fantastic. So for this one, I have 2 characters from the same series that I would take either of them. And that is Nico or Reyna from the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. We learn a little bit about Reyna and Nico's pasts throughout the series. Nico had to be up to something before he was in the Lotus Hotel. What was his life like with Bianca before he was trapped? How did he become trapped in the Lotus Hotel? And I really liked Nico as a character. I liked Nico and Reyna's point of views a lot in this book. We know that Reyna was on Cersei's island with her sister working as like a handmaiden, and it'd be really interesting to hear more in depth what actually happened. They do mention it very briefly, and they do talk about it, but I would like a more in-depth account of it. I just think that would be something so interesting to read about for either Nico or Reyna. I would take both. I would take either. And coming in at number 2 on my list is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, in particular President Snow. How cool would it be to read a series about President Snow coming to power and how Panem was created, how the Hunger Games were created, that first Hunger Games, what it was like, how President Snow became this incredible dictator and took over this, I'm assuming was what the United States was before Panem. They don't really tell us what happened to create Panem. You know, it's just the dark days and there was some rebellion. To actually read about him coming to power and his first years, that would be so cool. That would just be, I think, the most interesting thing to read about, and it's so possible it would make such a great prequel series to this series to see how all of this even started, why these kids are going through as tributes, and why they are in the Hunger Games to begin with. How did Snow come up with this idea? Would love to read about a young President Snow, about the fall of whatever countries before Panem, the rise of Panem, the dark days, the first Hunger Games. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that would be, oh my gosh. Please, 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 please. Please. Suzanne Collins, please. And coming in at number 1 is going to be on every single list because everybody wants it. And so many people complain about authors writing prequel series or spin-off series, except if this author gave it to us, everybody would literally faint of excitement because we've been told so many times it's not ever going to happen, and that hurts my soul. We can all dream, right? Maybe if we dream hard enough and we just wish hard enough, she'll do it for us. Please, J.K. Rowling, give us something in the Harry Potter world. I actually have 3 spin-off series that I think could work. Everybody wants the traditional Mordor series, the series about Lily, James, Sirius, Lupin, Peter, Snape, all of those guys that we are so familiar with in Harry Potter. They want to see them as kids in Hogwarts themselves. And I do think that would be a really interesting series, and I would take it. I would gladly take that and read it. It would also be interesting to have a spin-off series about Harry, Ron, and Hermione's children, how they go through Hogwarts, because by that time, the main villain in the series, the main antagonist, Voldemort, is defeated. It would be really cool to see, 19 years in the future, what the wizarding world is doing now. What is the problem and the threat and the issues now that Voldemort is defeated? How are Harry, Ron, and Hermione coping? Those were traumatic events that they went through as children. How are they coping? What are they doing? What are they up to? What are their children doing? That, I think, would be equally as entertaining and interesting as the Mordor series. I mean, I would take either. I wouldn't complain. The number 1 thing that I would love to see her do for the series, which would be so, so cool, is to make a series about the founding of Hogwarts. But way, way, way back to Helena Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, Salazar Slytherin, and Godric Gryffindor, and how they created Hogwarts, how they came together to make these 4 houses, how Salazar created the chamber, and where he got the basilisk from to put in the chamber. How do they even create Hogwarts? That would present so many new characters and protagonists, and it would be different enough from Harry Potter that it wouldn't be Harry Potter, but it would be in their world. I think that would be the coolest thing ever. Can you tell that I like origin stories? So that is it. Those are the 5 storylines, prequels, side characters that I would love to see have their own series. Tell me down below what would be your number 1 pick other than Harry Potter. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, I will talk to you very soon. Bye! Ugh. Now, in particular, I don't know how I want to say this. Nah. Nah. Nah, nah, nah. First one I would like to talk. The first one I want to talk about today is